It's time for wine.
You see, you cannot see the top of the hills anymore. So this actually means this is really fog, and on top of the hills you will have sun. And now we come to the Lütziger Woodsgarten again, the very famous single vineyard site, and you see here the red stone in the hills. This is really tough work. Working here, look at these terraces up there.
Yeah.
It's incredible. They're coming now. And the estate Studert-Prum, where we are going, is fairly at the end of this village. In the past, we used to have to drive through this village. There is very narrow streets with all traffic of trucks and everything, because this was the main road in the past on the river Mosel on this side. Now they built the surrounding. This is also why the houses here are not so much in a good shape, because in the past, as I said, nobody wanted to live next to the main road, of course. And now this village will develop again.
Früher bin ich ja getreten worden, in den Weinberg zu gehen, jede Semesterferien, jede Schulferien und so, aber das waren die schönen Momente.
Microclimate is better down close to the river.
And what is the height right now we're standing?
Here about 350 to 400 meters.
400 meters, yeah?
Yeah.
And
the village where we started, Welen, is about 100 meters above sea level.
Okay.
And when you know that the temperature is every 100 meters about a half degree lower, then you see that there are differences in the quality. It's often in the winter that we have snow here along the top and rain down in the valley.
How do you think in this 2012 would it be possible to collect nice Riesling?
We always hope to harvest nice grapes, and I'm sure we will do so. It's only that we have had somehow humid summer, what costs us some of the quantity. So the quantity will be lower than we would like to have.
Okay.
But the quality, I'm somehow sure that we can do something special again this year.
Because last year was perfect, right?
Last year was wonderful,
yeah.
Doubtless. Somehow special climate and the steep slopes and the river. The best place in the world for Riesling.
But you have some other places in Germany, yeah, where you produce Riesling as well.
Yes, sure.
How come what makes
shows also nice wines, doubtless. But for Riesling, I would say Mosel and Rheingau are the very best places.
Because of microclimate, both the soil, the slopes, yeah?
Exactly.
Everything together.
Yeah.
It's the minerality as well.
Yeah.
We have blind tasting worldwide. Every sommelier, every master of wine can taste and sense a Mosel Riesling because of its high minerality.
And on a blind tasting, you would be able to tell the difference between Alsatian, Grand Cru, and the Mosel, right?
Definitely, because on the Mosel you will always have a little bit more fruitiness, than in Alsatian wines.
Yeah, and we love to have elegant wines that are not so high in alcohol, what is for Riesling perfect. You don't need the high alcohol. It's like Mr. Langwood said, it's the slate that gives us in our wines, yeah, the special taste.
And as we try to have natural sweetness, natural high-end must, and therefore we don't want chaptalization, and our quality system, you know, also prohibits chaptalization on high-end Spätlese or Auslese dries.
Okay.
So,
what is the lowest alcohol is permitted here in Mosel for the wine?
7% you should have.
7%, yeah?
Yes.
but I've seen
Except in some dessert wines,
Yeah.
TBAs, it's
TBAs.
allowed to have, I think,
6
minimum
6.
5.5.
Yeah,
or so.
I've seen 6. I
But
haven't
that's
seen
somehow
5.5.
difficult.
Yeah.
For me, I would say 7 a wine should have.
By any chance, you remember what were the best vintages for ice wine in Mosel area? Because, like we discussed, ice wine is pretty rare.
This,
It
you have to
depends.
discuss with Mr. Studert. He has much more experience,
Yeah.
longer experience.
So I think in 2008 it was quite good for ice wines because we have had wonderful healthy grapes till November, and that's important. The problem is when you leave your grapes on the vines till December or next year January, then they are mostly rotten and not so good for ice wine. So it's perfect when you have wonderful healthy grapes and frost mid-November.
Yeah.
That's what everybody loves when he produces ice wine.
So you said 2008, yeah? Some other
For
vintages
example, yeah.
during the 21st century, some in 2003, 2004, no? For ice wine?
2003, for example, not, because that was an extremely hot year where we harvested outstanding wines, and I think nobody was in a position to have grapes in the vineyards for ice wine.
Okay. Sweet enough, no?
Oh, it's sour, typical Riesling. Needs some more sunshine.
Sunshine. But,
But
as long as it's
In 2 weeks, it's
Yeah.
perfect, doubtless.
to which countries you export your wine?
We ship our wines to the United States, to Canada, Scandinavia, Japan, South Korea, and
where do
maybe
you-
in the future to the Ukraine. Who knows? Through Mr. Langwood.
And how do you think, in which country outside Germany Riesling is more appreciated? Because I honestly think that it's an underappreciated grape. I recommend it to most of the guys as a great aperitif, as a king of aperitifs, you know, and it has such a diversity of different styles. And you know, when I hear that people have never tasted Riesling, I say, oh, you have a long way to go. I'm lucky for you, you know. So what do you think, in which country outside Germany Riesling is really popular and is appreciated as well?
I think everywhere in the world people will like Riesling if they have the chance to taste it, and if they have the chance to get wines from the old good estates what grow their wines in the very old vineyard sites. There we have the basis for the perfect quality of Riesling wines.
And here in Sonnenur, how old are the wines?
Here we have a mixture, let's say, between 20 and 80 years.
20 and 80 years. yeah.
Yes.
And if I ask you, as an owner of the estate, what will be your dream?
My dream?
In general.
That I can enjoy good wines for a long, long time.
And maybe together with your family.
Of course.
Thank you.